Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Rebel North by J.B. Salsbury, narrated by Bernadette Gerhard and Darcy Stark. Chapter 1. Gabriella. Death doesn't scare me. I'm drawn to it. My interest has everything to do with my experience. Because people always fear what they don't know. And I know all about death. I've waded into its shallows, felt its icy grip around my throat, watched as its tentacles pull a soul from this world to the next. Accustomed to death as I am, it seldom manages to surprise me. Which is why I catch my breath as I stand frozen in the dark Brooklyn alley, staring at a corpse slumped against the doorway. I see death every day. But usually, it's not before I even walk through the door to work. I sniff the air for decomposition. The ever-present stench of rotting garbage mixes with the briny air from the East River. But I don't detect the sharp cheese, sickly sweet, cheap perfume combo that accompanies a dead body. I look left and right, searching for a responsible party, but find nothing except the usual overfilled dumpsters, skittering rodents, and one flickering overhead light. I don't see any hitmen or a getaway car. No police sirens in the distance searching for a missing person. I get close and squat for a better look. A man. With his chin to his chest, a swath of longish hair covers his face. And although I can't make out his face, his size and clothes confirm he's male. Light brown hair trimmed short around his neck and ears tells me he's a regular at the barber, but the expensive smell of his cologne makes me think probably a salon. I push the silky locks aside to catch a glimpse of his face. His lips are full and wide, giving off serious Harry Styles vibes. Those lips are framed by a powerful jawline and a prominent chin that is tipped with a tiny indentation. His eyebrows are dark, placed wide on a strong forehead, and the guy has eyelashes for days. This kind of beauty deserves to be preserved in a museum. A diorama with him as the centerpiece, surrounded by silk upholstery, top-shelf booze, and cigars. The wealthy American male. Ego erectus. Most notable characteristics include serial dating, machismo, and toxic masculinity. Lucky for him, there will be no preserving this gorgeous creation in a museum, because I can smell the alcohol on his breath. I fan the air between us. Yep, definitely breathing. I do some fancy footwork to step over him to get to the door. I consider leaving him out here until the garbage trucks show up and wake him naturally. But considering the crime rate in this area, he may not be safe left outside. I give his shoulders a shove. Hey. His head rolls on his neck. I shove a little harder. Wake up. No response. I hit the 8-digit code on the door and prop it open. Come on, big guy. I hook him under the arms and attempt to drag him inside, but he's heavier than he looks, and unfolded, he appears much taller, too. I grunt and slide him back with clumsy steps. His legs fall open, and his fancy polished shoes skid against the concrete floor. His head lolls to the side and exposes the column of his neck. Unsurprisingly, his throat is also insanely attractive. Shit, Gabby, let me help you. Evan, one of the RNs, takes my place and drags the man inside as if he weighs nothing. Over here. I direct him to follow me down the hallway to an empty room. Put him on the bed. I pull back the comforter. But be careful. It would be a crime to disfigure this pretty face. Evan shoots me a skeptical eye. I don't think Rita's going to be okay with us giving a bed to some drunk you dragged in off the streets. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I grab the man's ankles, and together we hoist him onto the mattress. He'll be gone before she gets here. Evan places the man's dangling arms at his sides and then folds the man's hands at his chest, placing him in the death pose. Nice touch. He grins at me from over his shoulder. I thought so. He'll be safe here until he wakes up. Yeah? Then what? I shrug. Then he can go home and hopefully make a generous donation to City Hospice for our spectacular service and care. I tug off his shoes, noticing how they slip easily from satiny socks. These shoes alone look like they cost enough to fund this place for a month. What if he doesn't wake up? He walks out of the room and holds the door for me to follow. Then he's in the right place. The alley door isn't typically used for receiving. The main entrance is off of Union Avenue and used for visitors and guest arrivals. The back door is exit only, where our patients are wheeled out, covered in a sheet, and taken to the morgue. You're here. Annette, another one of the RNs, greets me with a grateful smile. Her eyes look tired, but not so much from lack of sleep, more from working around the dying. It takes a certain kind of person to tolerate the heavy weight of what we do. And I've always felt Annette would be better suited for something lighter, more hopeful, like labor and delivery. Long night? Aren't they all? She grabs her bag and smooths back some hair that fell loose from her ponytail. Walter's waiting for you. A trickle of relief warms my chest. I never know if, when my shift is over, I'll see a patient alive again. When Walter showed up weeks ago, he was still communicative. He loved to tell me old war stories. A few days ago, he got quiet, and now he never opens his eyes. I grab my book and head straight for his room. He likes stories of heroism, so I picked up a book at the library, and even though I'm not sure he can hear me, I read. A few hours later, I make a visit to the room where I left the handsome drunk. I expect him to have woken by now, but he hasn't moved from the supine position we left him in. A soft snore comes from his parted lips. Even with a day's worth of dark stubble on his cheeks, his skin looks smooth and blemish-free. A pang of envy twists my gut. This guy must get facials regularly. Satisfied that he's still breathing, he moans, and I jump back, afraid I'll get caught studying him up close. I'll look like a creeper. His eyes squeeze tighter, causing tiny lines to show around them. He rolls to his side, one hand slips under the pillow, and then he settles. His breathing evens, and I wonder if he passed out again. Hello? No reply. Yeah, I think he went back to sleep. My head. He groans as he rolls to his back and jams his fists into his eyes. You're drunk, just in case he's unaware. His entire body becomes unnaturally still, as if the sound of my voice hit the pause button on his motor skills. Shit, he mutters with a sigh for punctuation. His legs move slowly, knees bending and bobbing beneath the bedding as if he's testing the effects of gravity. He cracks an eye, opening one just slightly before closing it and working the other. He gives up and throws his forearm over his face. Can you please turn off the light? I dim the bulb, but keep it bright enough to see clearly. Minutes pass as he gets his eyes open and his brain online. He feels around the bed, grips the sheets, rubs his face, and finally pushes himself up enough to see me. His eyes are tiny slits, and I watch those crescent moon shapes widen substantially when he takes in my face. I could send my gaze to the floor and hide behind my hair. But I've learned it's best to keep eye contact, give the awkward moment life, and let it breathe until the temptation to gawk is satisfied. He frowns. I shouldn't be here. He continues to squint, or glare. Either his parents never taught him that staring is impolite, or he just doesn't give a crap about social etiquette. He sucks in a breath and pushes his hair off his face. The longish pieces go back into place as if trained to do so. One rebellious lock falls forward just enough to give him that disheveled mottled look. Oh, that's it. I bet he's a model. This is New York, after all. And he is, without a doubt, too pretty to be just some rich guy. He looks around the room, taking in the couch, sink, bathroom. Is this your house? His voice is scratchy, and I wonder if it always sounds like that or if the gravel in his tone is the result of a long night. No. You're at City Hospice. I startle when he suddenly pushes to stand. He wipes his palms against his backside and then his abdomen as if to rid himself of the bed's death cooties. Looking back at the bed with a grimace, he stumbles a step forward and grips the wall to steady himself. And yep, he's big. Tall. His well-fitting slacks and button-up shirt hug his form enough for me to see he's long and muscled. Definitely a model. And not catalog. Nope, this guy is Versace. I wonder why his clothes aren't more wrinkled, how he kept his shirt from coming untucked, and how a man can be such a hot mess and still look fresh off a photo shoot. He pats his pockets, first front, then back. He freezes, and his head falls back on a curse that tosses his whole body off center, causing him to stagger. You've got to be fucking kidding me, he mutters. My phone and wallet are gone. He turns an accusing glare my way. Do you know where my stuff is? You're serious? I laugh. You think I'd steal your phone and your wallet and then bring you inside for safekeeping? I scoff when he doesn't immediately answer. What's the last thing you remember from last night? His cheeks turn a bright shade of pink, and he looks me up and down. I watch a flicker of panic cross his eyes. You don't remember. I lift my brows for confirmation, and his flinch gives him away. His shoulders slump, and he shakes his head as if reprimanding himself. Look, whatever happened between us, it was a mistake, and Ew! You think we had sex? His gaze snaps to mine. I mean, I don't know. No! Now it's my face that's flaming. I don't know if I'm insulted that he thinks I'd have sex with a man blackout drunk, or if I'm flattered that a man this beautiful would assume sex with me was a possibility. Wait. He tilts his head and glares at me through one eye. Did you say ew? I found you passed out cold in an alley. All manner of things could have happened to you, but I promise that sex with me wasn't one of them. He seems preoccupied, looking for his shoes, and I wonder if he even heard me. But I can't speak for what happened before I found you. He shakes his head and then groans and grips his temples. Shit, what time is it? 6:15. A.M.? He side-eyes me. Yes? He mumbles all sorts of things. Something about being late and someone killing him. I need money for a cab back to Manhattan. Of course he lives in Manhattan. I'll pay you back. You want me to just give you money? I said I'd pay you back. Now that he's a little more alert, I can see his eyes are pale hazel. Trust me, I'm good for it. That I believe. I'll get you an Uber. I slip my phone from the pocket of my scrubs. With my eyes on the screen, I feel him studying my face, and I regret wearing my hair in a ponytail. It's easy to forget what you look like when you spend most of your time around dying people. The beautiful people of the world are a constant reminder of all the ways I don't measure up, and I don't need that shit in my life. He's still staring, so I look him boldly in the eye. He doesn't look away. What is this guy's deal? You can wait outside. Can I use the bathroom? If I say no, are you just going to pee on my wall out in the alley like everyone else? He shrugs. I groan. Fine. He moves past me. I watch as his eyes settle on my scar. This time, I duck my head and scurry out of the room.
Chapter 2. Kingston. Coffee, aspirin, water, food. Nothing helps to relieve the massive hangover I woke up with. That's not exactly true. I woke up still drunk, and the worst of the hangover didn't kick in until I got home. I try not to think too hard about how I ended up passed out in a Brooklyn alley, because my head feels like it's going to explode and thinking makes it worse. I check the time on my Cartier, the one that goes perfectly with my Dolce three-piece silk suit in the black and white floral pattern, as I walk through the lobby of North Industries, trying to hide how every step slams my brain against my skull. The sneers I get from the suit-wearing stiffs confirm that my first day of work outfit does not disappoint. Kimberly at reception blushes as I prop my forearms on her desk. "Good morning, Miss Kim." She tucks her hair behind her ears and tries to look anywhere but at me.
"Mr. North?"
She smiles too wide.
"It's not morning."
Whatever. I lean in a little closer. "You look stunning today." Her blush bleeds to her neck and chest, and I find the visual quite appealing. It doesn't take much to make a woman feel attractive and wanted, and I get a shit ton of satisfaction from making them feel this way.
"Mr. North is expecting you,"
she says. I figured. I sigh loudly, and there's nothing pretend about the sentiment. I do not want to be here, and everyone knows it. Which one? Her delicately arched eyebrows pinch together as she studies her touchscreen.
"Alexander."
I relax a little. Of all the great North men, Alex is one of the lesser of four evils. My brother Hayes and my dad August are at the top of the asshole pyramid, while my other brother Hudson is at the very bottom. "Thank you, Miss Kim." She answers with a girly giggle and a finger wave as I move beyond her desk to the bank of elevators. Losing every bit of what little good mood I had, I step onto the elevator that leads to the executive offices and feel like I'm walking into my own slaughter. I punch the top floor button, then lean back against the wall and close my eyes. You have to do this, I tell myself for the zillionth time. August made it clear that I have two choices: work for North Industries, or go back to Europe and live with my mom and her boy toy. The prospect alone makes me want to toss this morning's espresso and quiche Lorraine all over the glass and mirrored walls. There's always the option of giving up my Lenox Hill condo, getting a real job and living paycheck to paycheck in some dump like the common folk. Hard pass. 8 hours a day at North Industries is worth it to stay in the lifestyle to which I am accustomed. The elevator comes to a halt so abruptly it fucks with my equilibrium. I steady myself, open my eyes, and walk off the carriage toward my brother's office.
"Big day, Mr. North,"
his assistant, Mrs. Miller, says with a smile and a hint of compassion. She's known me since I was a teenager, so she's fully aware that the family biz ain't my thing. I shrug. "I guess. You're looking lovely this morning?" She frowns.
"It's 2:00 in the afternoon."
Details. "Is the big guy in?"
"He is. He assumed you'd be in this morning, though, so don't expect a pleasant greeting."
I never do. Alex has a temper on a good day. On a bad day, breathe wrong and he goes atomic. I stroll into my brother's office to find him hunched over a large digital drafting table, suit coat off, sleeves rolled up. "Kingston North reporting for duty," I say, before dropping like a hungover sack of crap onto his couch. "You're late," he growls, without lifting his head from his work. "Am I?" I say sarcastically. He should be happy I showed up at all. "I don't see what the big deal is. We all know I have nothing to offer this place outside of my impeccable style. All I'm required to do is show up and look pretty to stay on August's payroll." I drop my 600-pound aching head to the cushion. A quick nap might help. "Where did you disappear to last night?" I don't open my eyes. "Good question. I started off happy hour drinking with Alex's wife Jordan at her restaurant. I was celebrating my last day of freedom from North Industries. But that party turned into a fog somewhere around a 25-year-old single malt. Jordan was worried. I feel his eyes on me, so I open mine and yep, he's looking at me like I stole his favorite pen, which for him is an egregious offense. "She tried calling you." My phone died. I don't tell him I got mugged, or that I spent all morning canceling credit cards and ordering a new phone. I don't like it when my wife worries. We share a few seconds of uncomfortable eye contact, and I wonder if I'm about to get my ass kicked. "Sorry? Don't apologize to me. Apologize to her." I chuckle cautiously. Last I checked, I have a mom. I love my sister-in-law, but I don't owe Jordan shit." I watch the storm clouds of his temper darken his hazel eyes, and the muscles in his jaw tick. I hold my breath and wait. He eyes his new punching bag in the corner of his office. The heavy bag Jordan insisted he pound rather than ripping people's heads off. He blinks, exhales, and nods once. "I'll apologize for you." "I appreciate that." I drop my head back and thank the gods of temperamental brothers that my face is still intact. 6 months ago, he'd have been in my face, insulted me with a barrage of dirty words, and physically thrown me out of his office. He may have even punched a wall or broken something. But not anymore. Not since Jordan. She's been the best kind of therapy for my atypical brother. Calmed his inner beast the way meds and counseling never could. Now, my first project as a member of the family business is a little thing I like to call cranial rejuvenation. You get back to whatever you were doing, and I'm going to quietly crash out for a bit. Wake me up if you see August. You're not assigned to my department. I crack an eyelid. I'm not? He shakes his head slowly. I sit up too quickly and close one eye until my head stops swimming. What department am I assigned to? You'll have to ask your supervisor. Is it just me, or does he look like he's trying not to smile? Who's my supervisor? Oh yeah, he's definitely fighting laughter. No, I whisper. Don't tell me. I hold up a hand as if I could rewrite whatever he's about to say with the force of my palm. Hudson, right? Just tell me it's Hudson. He rolls his lips between his teeth. Fuck. Fuck! I glare at the smug son of a bitch. He's been waiting for you all day. He flicks his fingers. Better get going. I hate you, I mumble as I stand. I flip the asshole off over my shoulder as I walk out of his office, leaving him chuckling in my wake. My brother, Hayes, waves me into his office, even though he has the phone pressed to his ear as he barks out a nasty reprimand to whoever is on the other side. His laser-sighted glare follows me inside, and he jabs a finger toward a leather chair. A minute late is still late, Gillingham, and I won't have that kind of incompetence in my department. Is that understood? Dickhead, I mutter to myself, earning a fierce middle-finger salute from the tight ass. I sink into the fine Italian leather, and ignore Hayes by looking at everything but him. Whereas Alexander's office is modest and only filled with the bare minimum necessities, Hayes's space is a gigantic brag about how big his wallet and his brain are. Only the finest hand-crafted furniture, made with polished steel and hand-carved exotic woods. The shelves are filled with books, the drawers with files, and the bar with Lalique crystal glassware. And a television the size of an SUV adorns the far wall. No more excuses. If I don't see that contract in the next few minutes, fine. He hangs up the phone, and all that nasty Hayes energy gets directed right at me. You're late. He checks his Rolex. 7 hours late. I am so sick of people telling me that. Not only do you show up late, he eyes my suit with distaste, but you're dressed like a funeral bouquet. I gasp and struggle to recover from the insult of my suit. This is Dolce & Gabbana. My jaw hangs open, waiting for the realization of his mistake to hit him. It doesn't. You're working in the legal department of North Industries, not the VIP section of the Boom Boom Room. Dress like an adult. Dolce and Gabbana. I point to my jacket, my vest, my pants. I wait for his apology. None comes. You're a monster. Why weren't you here this morning like every other employee? It's a long story. He rocks back in his chair. I'm all fucking ears. I drank too much last night and... I shrug. I don't know, I blacked out. I don't tell him about getting mugged, or about the woman. Some stories are better left untold. I'm here now. You blacked out. That's what I said. And woke up in your bed at home. I cringe. Not exactly at home. Jesus, Kingston! He cringes. Do you have any idea the trouble you're bringing onto yourself? Onto this family, if you get some random chick pregnant or contract a flesh-eating dick virus? It wasn't like that. I didn't have sex with anyone. Or at least, she says I didn't. I'll admit I was surprised. How do you know you didn't have sex with her if you blacked out? Hayes uses his most parental tone. He'd be a horrible dad, and that's saying something coming from a guy who is sired by the worst kind of human being. Can we please get off the subject of my night and move on to what the hell I'm going to be doing here for 40 hours a week? His eyes take on an evil glint, one I recognize from adolescence. Hayes was the ultimate torturer. Cherry Kool-Aid in the showerhead, so I thought I was bleeding to death. Wrapped my car in cellophane in my school parking lot. Got me pulled out of class by the police on a tip that I had plans to shoot up the school. I had to meet with a therapist for months before they trusted me enough to let me back on campus. He never did confess to that, but I know it was him. Yes. He rocks forward and puts his elbows on his desk. I have stacks of backlogged paperwork that need to be put in alphabetical order by name and sorted by date. Dread settles in my gut. Alphabetical order. He smirks, mistaking my tone for irritation rather than what it really is, full-blown panic. That's right, Romeo, some real preschool shit. You think you can handle that? He nods to some unseen spot behind me. I set up an office for you. I slowly turn around to the open door that leads to a room. What the fuck? I turn back around. That's a closet. A walk-in closet. Haze. It's bigger than most New York apartments.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?